Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 15. Today, our main topic is perspective, and brought to you by Collective Beauty Skincare Studio in Malvern, New York, on Long Island. Christine Louisi, one of the best, and I say this truly because she has done my eyebrows and this cool machine she uses. So good. So we thank Christine for joining us and sponsoring us. Collective Beauty Skincare Studio. We love you. The space is so cute as well. So even if you're not on the South Shore or if you're in Queens, come over. I promise you, you will. The parking is so easy. It's a cute little town. Very easy peasy. And I love easy and convenient. So check it out. All right. So today we are talking about perspective and so many different things about perspective. But first, let's get to our shiny crystal of the week. Shiny crystal of the week this week is my friend Michael. He is one of my closest friends. He is one of the 5 Michaels, if you remember from a previous episode, one of the 5 Michaels. I'm not going to get back into it. Go check out, I think it might have been episode 2 or 3, but the Michaels, they're always somebody very close to me, somebody that's like my right-hand man, someone who's always just been very like in every era of my life. I love how I said I'm not going to explain it, but then I did. Anyway, those Michaels have been brought to me by my spirit guide, my Uncle Mike, who passed away before I was born. We have a soul contract, and he's been guiding me. He sent me 5 Michaels in this life, who have always been there for me in every era of my life. So, anyway, Michael's my shiny crystal this week. Why? Because, and I chose him for this episode because of perspective. We give each other different perspectives. We're always there to bounce things off of each other. We pick each other up when we're down. We talk about like mental health stuff. We talk about our childhoods. We talk about our lives. We just talk about where we're at in this day and age, like just perspectives. We always bounce things off. And I think that is very important when you have a friend, somebody that you can get different perspectives from. That's what friends are for. That's what family's for. So you could bounce things off of each other. That's why community is so important, because you need those other perspectives, you know? You need those other views, you know? You definitely don't need to be making decisions because of other perspectives. You should always make your own decision, always. Because I always say to people, like if anyone asks me for advice I always say you have to make your own decision. Because at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, when you lay your head on that pillow, you have to be okay with the decision you made. When the future comes, you're going to look back on your choices and your decisions. You can't make decisions because someone else gives you their perspective or their angle or their advice. You have to make your own decisions. You can use perspectives and advice and views as guidance with friends or family, but at the end of the day, you got to make your own choices. But I love him, and he's a shiny crystal because, you know, I think he's a really good soul and a good spirit, and I think he's on a good path. So thank you, Michael, for being one of the 5 Michaels and a shiny crystal of the week. All right, so let's get to our new segment that we started last week. Sign me up. Today's astrology zodiac that we're using is Taurus. So sign me up. Let's see. Why do I want a Taurus on my side in a crisis? Now, here's the thing. I'm a sun sign Taurus, so, you know, I might be a little biased, but I'm gonna try to do this in a non-biased way. So why would I want a Taurus on my side in a crisis? Because Tauruses are loyal as fuck. Tauruses are ride or die. Tauruses are there for you. If they love you, if they can trust you, a Taurus has got your back. So if you're in a crisis and they're on your side, you got a strong ally. You have someone who is going to walk through fire for you. A Taurus is a bull. They're strong. If there's a river and you got to cross it, they will hold on to, this is a cartoon. They'll hold on to it and let you walk across their back. Not literally, because that's not aerodynamically possible, but you know what I mean. A Taurus has got your back. So that's why I would want a Taurus on my side if I was in a crisis. I also would want a Taurus on my side if I was in a crisis, because if they don't want like you or they're not on your side, woo, they gonna get you. But I love Tauruses, not just because I'm a Taurus, but because I just feel like what you see is what you get with a Taurus. You know what I'm saying? Like any Tauruses, you know, What you see is what you get. They're going to give it to you straight. So I like that. Why are Tauruses unhinged in a relationship? Why are they unhinged in a relationship? Because we can be a little possessive. Tauruses have a possessive nature. It's true, actually. What's funny is because I remember with the Aries, I told you the saying. So with Taurus, it's I have. So we're very into our things, even though I'm not a material person, like I said earlier, but I do like, if I have stuff, I like nice stuff. I like it to be good. I like, like, look, like even my book, my sister got it for me, but I love it because it's velvety and it's just fabulous, So we're very into things like, if a Taurus gives you a referral, or a Taurus like tells you like a spot or good restaurant, especially because we love our food, go to it. A Taurus is not going to send you to shit, I promise. A Taurus, if they give you this is good, bro, it is going to be good. Okay? So, but when they are in a relationship, they can be possessive. That's unhinged. I mean possessive on a whole nother level. That's probably why the last boyfriend I had was like 18 years ago. Because when I love, like, it's like, where you going? Like, who's on the phone? Who you texting? It's so unhealthy. It's not that. I'm probably not like that anymore because I've grown and I've evolved. And like, if I can't trust you, I'm not going to be with you. But in my younger days, oh God. Yeah. When was that was more than 18 years ago. Because I started comedy and I had already been broken up with him. So let's see. Wow. So like maybe like 20 years ago. Holy shit. It is time for a boyfriend. I am ready. If anyone knows anyone on Long Island, hook me up because I am ready. I like a masculine guy. I used to say I like a bisexual guy, but I don't know. My possessiveness, he can't be like having too much like boy or girl. That's too much in the pool, like he's got too much option. So I don't know if I could do a bisexual guy because then I'll feel bad that I'm not a girl and he'll leave me one day to be with a girl so he can have kids. So yeah, no, he's got to be gay, but like not ice skating gay, like I like a guy, like my buddy. I want him to be able to be like my best friend. So yeah, if you know someone on Long Island or Queens, Manhattan, I mean, I don't want to have an easy pass to come see you, So Queens, Long Island, that's good. And he has to want to do things and travel. And like, maybe I love a road trip. Like he has to love road trips and he has to love my dog. If he's not a dog person, don't bother. But yeah, so, okay. Next, toxic trait of a Taurus. Toxic trait of a Taurus. Ooh. Okay, so let me think of a toxic trait of a Taurus, but I'm not saying that this isn't me because I've worked on any of my toxic traits. We all have them, but I've really done a lot of work on them. So toxic trait of a Taurus. Okay, toxic trait of a Taurus is I don't want to say stubbornness because that's general. And it's like, Tauruses are stubborn. No, it's more than that. We're very like, if we know something and we know it to be true and we know, oh yeah, this is right. We're very like, we don't think anyone else is right, or like we won't listen to anyone else. I've really worked on that. Because it's ignorant and you don't want to just be like, I'm right, and that's perfect for this episode actually, because perspective, there's all different perspectives. There's all different sides. There's all different stories. Everyone has different lenses. So yeah, there are things that are technically right, like 2 + 2 is 4, but like you have to be open to different things. You have to be open to maybe your side isn't the right side. Maybe your side, I don't want to say right because right and wrong is also very like obscure. I mean, yes, again, murder, rape, that kind of stuff, like, molestation, gross, very wrong. We know that. There's no obscurity about that. Stealing, lying. But, even like with lying, there are people who lie sometimes because they want to don't want to hurt you, or they lie because they're trying to avoid making you feel bad. So it's like, when they say a white lie and all that. So yeah, so that's like the obscurity in that. But yes, I would say with Tauruses, like they have to be willing to be more open about their opinions and what they know to be true. So it's like an extended stubbornness. They're more than just stubborn. Because here's the thing I always say with Tauruses, and I'll include myself, we think about it every angle. We also talk to different people about the thing we're thinking about. So we are getting different points of views. And then we've I know for me, when I started learning about astrology in my early 20s, I tested it out. Or actually, no, I was 18 when I started learning about astrology. I would test it out and I would watch it play out. Or when I was working at restaurants, I would guess people's signs, which was an innate thing, but then I would watch them behave after I knew their sign. So I would see things what. So Tauruses are very not only analytical, but we test things. So that's why Tauruses are very strong on their opinion of what they know. So look at me. So, I'm it's not toxic, So anyway, what would a Taurus bring to my, healing retreat? What would a Taurus bring to my healing retreat? I would say, a Taurus would bring pillows, comforters. Tauruses are all about comfort. We're all about fabrics. We're all about things that feel like right now, I didn't use enough skin cream today and I'm feeling a little dry. I'm not at all, but I feel it. We're very in tune with our feelings, with touch. So if you go to a Taurus's home or you have a Taurus partner or a friend, you're going to be comfortable. I'm not just I see people sometimes, I'm beside myself. They have a blanket that's thin and it looks like it's not even the pillows. I'm what is going on here? Are you punishing yourself? What is this? Why are you laying? Why is your sheet, why is it half off the bed? I don't get it. Why, I don't get this vibe. What, I can't imagine. So we would bring fluffy pillows. You ever see someone with a flat, it's got no fluff to it, that pillow? Are you angry at yourself? What are you doing? What is this? Why is I have 2 pillows here, 2 pillows next to me. I used to have pillows that would line my sides. I mean, we are all about that comfort. So yeah, that's what Tauruses would bring. A Taurus would bring to my healing retreat pillows and comforters. And they would smell good. Taurus, we're very into the scent and senses. So yeah, they will hook up a good feeling environment for the healing retreat. So shout out to my Tauruses. Love us. Keep doing you. All right, so let's get into the main topic. Our main topic today is perspective. Perspective. Everyone has a different one. Everyone has different stories and ideas and some are maybe you would say right, or they're correct, or they're the way to be, but you have to walk around life knowing that everyone has different perspectives. Everyone sees things differently. Everyone sees things differently, literally, the way our eyes see things or process light or process information, because when you're processing information, you're doing it you're getting your download in different ways because of so many different elements. The human mind, so we don't remember memories the way that they happened. When you think of something in the past or your childhood, the memory you have about it is not how it actually happened. Sorry to burst your bubble. The reason why is because we're not recording. If you're recording something, that's how it happened. But even then, you could be watching a recording that you had or a video, you're still perceiving it. So you're not, even though it's the fact of how it happened, the way you're perceiving it is different than what really happened. So that's tricky too. But the brain, so there's gaps. When we're remembering a memory, there's gaps in the memory. And the brain starts filling in the gaps with bias or beliefs or patterns, assumptions, our emotions. All of those things fill in the gaps of the thing that we're not remembering, part of the memory. So if you have strong emotions about something or an event, it alters the way that the memory really is. You can remember how you felt more vividly than what actually happened. So you're remembering how you felt. So if you felt offended or you felt attacked, it doesn't mean they were attacking you. I know. Wow. Whoa. Hello. What do you mean? They might not have been attacking you. Now, I'm not gaslighting. I don't want to say that like if something happened to you and you like felt sad or scared or that it didn't happen. I'm not saying that, because I truly believe that if someone says something happened, you should listen to them and not say it didn't happen, because that's gaslighting, and I cannot stand gaslighting because it makes people feel crazy. But what they're saying is technically the event didn't happen that way, so to speak. You're filling it in with your emotions. So that I thought was pretty interesting. And then another interesting part about that is when you're recalling a memory, think of it as like a draft or a file. So when you're recording a memory, you pull up that draft. When you pull up that draft, you change it. It changes. And then when you store it again and save it, the way you remembered it in that moment, the new change, it gets stored with that new change. So every time you remember that, if say there's like a childhood memory that you keep going back to, maybe like every few months or every year you think about it, each time you bring up that memory, you remember the memory in that state of mind that you're in. You add a couple of different things. It could be very slight, but then when you put that memory back into your brain, you store it the way you just remembered it in that present moment. So it keeps changing every time you remember it. So holy shit, like think about like certain memories that you're always remembering, how many times it changed and evolved. And so it's pretty wild that like, cause I'm a very like, oh, I remember it like this and I remember that happening. And it most likely isn't the way it happened. And you can't rely on like, oh, my mother was there or my sister or my best friend. What's their opinion about it? Or what did they remember? How did that happen? Because guess what? They all have different memories of that situation as well. So it's like you're in this like paradox. You're in this like, what is that? The labyrinth or whatever the hell. I remember that. You're in that. You're not really, it's like the never ending story. You're in like all of a sudden now I'm on a huge dog flying through the swamps. Like what is going on? That's why they say siblings all have different memories of experiences growing up. So you might argue and be like, no, it happened this way. It happened that way. This is how, it's not true. Not saying it's not true, but it's not exactly how you remember it. So it's not, don't bother arguing with your siblings because everybody's remembering things differently. So your brain keeps what it thinks is important, which is pretty annoying because who's my brain to decide what it thinks is important? So it keeps what it thinks is important for survival or for your identity, not what actually occurred. So it's like, fuck, man. I was like, our brain is like choosing what, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to keep this because this is crucial to our identity. So that's interesting. If you're identifying as a certain way, try not to get stuck on, and I'm going to actually apply this to myself because I just thought of that. Like, I shouldn't get stuck on a certain identity because then your brain wants to keep it that way and it doesn't leave any room to change or evolve. Yeah, you should always be trying to evolve or change. Don't get stuck to one identity. And last but not least, and this is the most important, this is so important. And I believe this with all of my heart. I've always felt this way. I don't even want to say like I work on it because I have like always just felt like this. Yeah, obviously when I was younger, like we're all, catty or I don't gossip. I'm not into like, do not judge people. Don't judge because truly you don't know if you're going to be in that position one day. You don't know. Things turn at the drop of a dime. Things change. Perspectives change. Your perspective changes. You could feel so strongly about something for like a decade and then all of a sudden life shows you different things and now you're like completely feeling a certain different way. Like I look back at a lot of my like Facebook posts during certain like political times in the past and I would be like, blah, 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 and I would feel so passionate and I would fight with people and argue, and then I look back now in this like the past 5 years, how I've been more evolved and more enlightened. And I'm like, oh, who was that person? I would never be like that now. I would never like be so like angry or irritated or pushing my opinion on other people. Like I'm like, now I don't even talk about politics at all because it's just ridiculous, but like, it's not my job to make other people feel a certain way or a belief or see things. Everyone see things the way they are going to see it through their experiences in their life. You're not God. You can't tell people, no, that's not the right experience. You're not having the right experience. Who am I to tell anyone what their experience is and who's right and wrong? I know I'm not going to hurt people. I know I'm going to do the best for the people, try to do the best I can in the people I encounter in my life. I can only be in charge of myself. So therefore, my perspective changed on how I communicated my opinions and my beliefs. My beliefs changed, my opinions changed because life changed. Things were shown to me in different ways. That's life for all of us. We're always changing in different aspects. So try not to be so like judgmental or try not to be so like, this is it, this is how it is. Because guess what? It's going to change. Your perspective is going to change. You're going to grow. And then you're going to look back and be like, oh my God, who was that? Shut up. And it's not a good feeling. It's so not a good feeling. It's so like, oh. So the judging, don't judge people because you don't know if you're ever going to be in that position. You don't know why they're being that way. You don't know who is affecting them or what their journey was when they were kids or adults. Don't gossip. Don't judge. Don't like talk about other people. Talk about yourself. If you want to talk about something, talk about yourself. You can talk about like your family because that's part of yourself. You want to bounce things off with other family members, but don't judge because you don't know what it's like. It's like with parenting. Like I would never, all my sisters have kids. So I'm not going to, I'm not a parent. I don't know what it's like to be a parent. I'm not in that position. So I can't say what's right or wrong or what you do. I have a perspective. I can see what's going on. I can, if asked, I can give you a perspective on what I'm seeing, but I can't judge why you're choosing different actions or why you're choosing different parenting, techniques. I'm not a parent, so I don't know what it's like to be in that position. If I was ever going to be a parent one day, I don't know if I'll be doing the same thing. Who knows? Who knows? You don't know. You can only do your own thing. You can only speak for yourself. So don't judge. That's a huge one because perspectives change. Perspectives are different and everyone's living a different experience. Stop with the judging, everybody. It ain't cute. Well, thank you. That was our topic of perspective. I hope we got something from that. Let's go to our voice note astrology.
Big Crusty Crystal fan over here. I look forward to this podcast every single week. You're killing it. I love it so much. I'm reaching out because I wanted to get a little bit more clarity on my family dynamic. So myself, I am a Taurus, Libra. My husband is a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. My daughter is a Virgo, Cancer, Sagittarius. I guess I just wanted to know like how we can support each other in our day-to-day lives and how our signs show up for us and how we can maybe have a better home life. Not that we have a bad home life, but anyways, love your podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I love that. Thank you. And thank you for the nice things you said about the podcast. I appreciate that. Thank you for listening. All right. So you're a double Taurus. That's so funny because we were just talking about Tauruses. Oh my God. I love when that happens. That's our sign me up was about Tauruses today. So perfecto. Bring those comforters and those pillows to the retreat, girl. And your rising is Libra. So all of that, that's a Venus ruling. Taurus, Libra, all ruled by Venus. So you're very into the aesthetic, into beauty, into peace. Your husband, OMG, all water. Woo! Deep. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. That's interesting. I feel like, didn't we talk about Pisces men and that was in the previous episode, I think. Okay, so my first feeling is about his emotions, his depth. He's got to get comfortable with that. And then your daughter being a Virgo, Cancer, Sag. That's so funny because the Virgo lines up with your Taurus. So you and her, BFF. Her moon in Cancer is perfect for your husband. So here's what I'm going to say here. So her sun sign is Virgo, which really kills it with your Taurus. You guys are going to vibe. You'll see eye to eye. Her Sag rising, I think it's good that you have your Libra rising so you can just kind of go with the flow of that. But her Sag rising might make her a little feisty. But I feel like she's going to actually have to learn how to speak up for herself. Even though Virgos, they know how to speak up for themselves. So I might be incorrect about that, but something hit me about that. I feel like it's something that she's going to have to learn how to do. So correct me if I'm wrong. Message me about that. But her moon, this is very interesting. Her moon being Cancer, your husband. So the moon sign is like your depth. It's your emotions. It's who you are inside. Your husband's going to be really good at connecting with her emotions. He's going to see her. He's going to really understand that. And that's so important for a daughter and a father. It's so important for a girl to have a father that like really connects to her emotions and connects to who she is. So I think that's a perfect dynamic for your daughter to have that dad. He's such a sensitive little sweetheart. Oh my God. But I bet you he is a moody bastard. And I say that in a very Italian way. I don't mean he's not an actual bastard, you know? But that Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, sexy, you know? Like I just feel like it's like he's got that depth, girl. I feel like when it comes to like your like passion between each other, I think that's a really nice, passionate mix. I think that I hope he's confident in his sensitivity. And I hope he doesn't I feel like, what am I feeling on this? I feel like he turns inward, you know? I feel like saying that he turns inward. I feel like what's interesting is like, I keep saying like he has to be comfortable with his sensitivity, but I feel like he is. I feel like he's so overwhelmed by his emotions and his sensitivity that he has no choice but to be comfortable with it. And I think life might have taught him to be comfortable with it. I think he didn't have a choice. And I think that he was given this daughter with the Cancer moon to really like validate his emotions and his sensitivity. And I think there's a really good mix and balance here. I feel very good about the family life. I think your daughter having the Sag rising, that's the lesson that you guys are meant to learn. That's the thing that's sticking out for me. That Sag rising, she was brought to you to kind of teach the both of you about letting go and about being free. Because I think the both of you might sometimes get stuck in your own shit. And I think she's here to just say, fuck it, let's go. And I think that's why it's important for her to learn about speaking up for herself and speaking for what she needs. And I think it's so important. And I think it's so divine that the husband is the one that's really going to be able to connect with her depth and her emotions. I think that that's so important. But I think she was brought to you in your family to teach you both how to just let go and let be and be free. So text me, message me, let me know how that sounded. And thank you. And everybody else, send your voice notes. We love this. We love this segment. So we really appreciate when you guys send them in. All right. My final thought today. Let me really connect to this one. Don't be so stuck on your sight. Don't be so stuck on what you think is right or wrong or real or fake. Don't be so stuck on it. Be malleable, be changeable, be free, be like free forming, be flowing. Because if you get stuck on one perspective, if you get stuck on one-sidedness, you will not be able to evolve the way that souls are meant to evolve. You will not be able to do the job that your spirit wanted you to do and the reason it even came onto earth. You have to be able to flow. You have to be able to change. You have to be able to let things grow. You have to be able to say, oh, I was wrong. You have to be able to say, oh, I know now. Thank you for showing me that. You have to be able to show others through action, through your experience. Understand that perspectives are always changing. Don't be so stuck on that's how it was, because it probably wasn't. It's okay to forgive and move on. It's okay to let go. But just know things are going to always change. Things are going to always change. The one thing in life that is definite is change. So don't get stuck in the this is what it is of it all. Okay? Well, thank you, my loves. Another great episode. Thank you for being here. Say hi to me on socials. Follow us. Share us. Thomas Dale 5, Crusty Crystals Pod. On TikTok, we are The Wanderers or Crusty Crystals Podcast. Love you guys. Bye-bye.